So I finally put enough miles on these shoes where I feel comfortable that I can do a review of them. So I use these shoes, and these are the Salomon Speedcross 3s on pretty much all my backpacking trips. I am really impressed with these Salomon Speedcross 3s. And now the Speedcross 4s are already out. You can still find the 3s around for a relatively reasonable price. Just of course they're clearing them out, and so it's kind of nice to see that these can be had for relatively good bargain. So some things that I like about these shoes right away is that they're light. I mean, you guys know me, and I'm a big fan of trail runners when I'm going on the trail, and these are really light. They feel like you're gliding on air. It really feels like you're not going to be weighed down by anything. But even though they're light, they do a really good job of still protecting your feet. These are fairly sturdy, and so if you look at these, they're these kind of a rubber guard almost right around the bottom of the shoe right here. And especially the toe guard is really handy. I mean, I've kicked a bunch of rocks on the trail, stubbed my toe, and not really felt much of anything because of this toe guard and this rubber bottom right here. So it does a really nice job with that. Also, the mesh, even though it's a trail runner and it's breathable, I'll be honest, the Speedcross 3s are not the most breathable trail runner out there. It's slightly water resistant, so that means it's not going to be like something else like the La Sportiva Wildcats, where it's pure mesh and water is going to dry really, really fast. This is a decent job of drying. I've never fully immersed my foot in water in a stream crossing. I will take them off, these ones specifically, if I have to do a major crossing. Now, why that is because if it's slightly water resistant, it doesn't breathe as well as something that's pure mesh. And so it does a nice job in light rain, and if the most I've done is stepped into, let's say, about water that's that high. And usually once you cross fairly quickly, it wicks the water away from your foot very well, and it dries fairly fast. Nothing too significant, but I did notice that it doesn't dry as fast as some other trail runners out there. I also love their cord lock system that they have for their shoes. Rather than having a lacing system where you have to tie shoelaces over and over again, it does a really nice job of keeping your foot secure in there, and it's really easy and it's intuitive, easy to get on and off when you're in and out of camp, and it works really well. Another big plus for me are these grips. You can see it's still dirty because I've used these and they're well used. The grips are really, really aggressive. Sorry, the tread is really aggressive. And it does a very nice job of whatever trail I've been on, as long as it's dirt. Where you feel a little bit more kind of unstable, and it's not bad, is if you're climbing on like a granite face or a rock slab of any kind, if you're on the backpacking trails. That's where you can tell that it's a little odd because it's slightly raised, and it's not as, but it does a phenomenal job in dirt trails of any kind. And so I'm really impressed by any wet, mucky conditions. The grip is phenomenal. What else do I love? And you guys can tell this already, because if you know me and follow my channel, you know I like things with a little bit of flair to them. I love the colors that this comes in. I love this orange color. It just pops. And it's one of those things where I know it's not all about fashion and it's more about function. But it's something that I like. It's kind of cool. It kind of catches people's eye on the trail. People have asked me about these shoes. I mean, we had some really rocky trails in the Smokies, and this did a phenomenal job of making sure that I kind of was stable and I didn't feel like I was stepping on rocks all day. And so there's no plate in this. You know, some trail runners will actually have a shank kind of in the midsole, and this one does not. And it does but it still does a fairly nice job of maintaining some rigidity. One major con that I noticed right away is that you have to, I'm going to say in general, you have to buy these in at least a half size to a full size, larger than you usually would wear. So for example, I'm a size 12, these are 12 and a half. One big reason is because these shoes are really narrow compared to a lot of other shoes. I don't mind that feeling. It tends to feel more secure in there, even though I have a wider foot. But it's something to consider. So if you need wider shoes or a wider toe box, this is not it. It works really well for what it is. Like I said before, really light, does a nice job with grip. Price is right, especially now if you're going to go buy them. Check them out. The Salomon Speedcross 3s are a phenomenal trail runner. I really can't recommend them enough. They're going to continue to be in my kind of rotation of shoes that I have for trails specifically, and it does a really nice job. Hopefully the video was helpful for you. If it was, go ahead and subscribe. Keep tuned for future videos, especially of gear that I use and that works really well for me. That's what I'm a big fan of sharing with you guys, is stuff that has worked. And if it doesn't work, I'll tell you, and I'll tell you kind of what the cons are of what I have used. So go ahead and like the video and subscribe. See you guys later. Peace. And other people who wear them, I can tell, are like, hey, you got Speedcross 3s. And I'm like, yeah. And it makes me feel good. But seriously, it's one of those things where it's one of those side things that's a cool benefit. And I just like the color. What else about these shoes?